Mysterious Indonesia, a country of 17,000 islands stretching between two oceans, holds more secrets than the average traveler can imagine. Picture this. While millions of tourists flock to Bali and 2 or 3 other popular islands each year, the remaining thousands remain uncharted, hiding ancient secrets and incredible traditions. This nation is home to more than 700 languages and dialects coexisting within its borders, creating a unique linguistic mosaic unparalleled anywhere in the world. Did you know that Indonesia is home to an island where real Komodo dragons still roam? Ancient reptiles whose venomous bite can kill a buffalo in mere hours. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to knowledge about this enigmatic country. Today, we will delve deeper, from surface-level tourist facts to shocking rituals where locals exhume their dead for special ceremonies. Some tribes in Indonesia have preserved traditions that are over 4,000 years old, a living window into the Stone Age that exists alongside modern civilization. How can the world's most populous Muslim country harbor islands where shamanism is still practiced and ancient pagan cults are followed? Get ready to discover 15 astonishing facts about Indonesia that you will never find in ordinary travel guides. But this is just the beginning of our journey into the depths of the archipelago's mysteries. Fact 1. A lost world between oceans. Few realize the true scale of this enigmatic country. Indonesia is not merely a group of islands, but a colossal archipelago comprising over 17,000 islands, stretching across the boundary of 2 great oceans, the mighty Indian Ocean and the mysterious Pacific Ocean. Imagine this: only 6,000 of these lands are inhabited, while the remaining 11,000 islands remain virtually untouched by humans, preserving their ancient secrets. Some of them have never seen the footprints of a human foot, while others conceal the ruins of long-lost civilizations about which we know almost nothing. This largest island nation in the world extends 5,000 kilometers from west to east. Consider that this distance is comparable to traveling from sunny Lisbon to majestic Moscow. If you decide to fly across Indonesia, you will need more than 7 hours of continuous flight, during which the islands of this astonishing country will glide beneath you. Scientists suggest that a significant portion of Indonesia's islands has yet to be properly explored. What artifacts, what traces of ancient cultures might be hidden in their impenetrable jungles and deep caves? Every year, researchers uncover new species of animals and plants unknown to science, while locals recount encounters with mysterious beings not found in any scientific guidebook. Yet perhaps the greatest mystery of Indonesia lies in how such a vast and diverse nation has managed to maintain its unity, bringing together hundreds of peoples who speak different languages and practice different religions. This question remains unanswered, adding yet another enigma to the countless mysteries of this remarkable archipelago. Fact 2. The island of the gods in the shadow of a great archipelago. Now, let us transport ourselves to the most famous island in all of Indonesia, known to nearly every resident of the post-Soviet space. Bali is truly a magnetic corner of the planet, attracting millions of tourists from around the world with its golden beaches, emerald rice terraces, and mysterious temple complexes. The locals refer to it as the Island of the Gods and the Island of 1,000 Temples, and this is no exaggeration. Within an area comparable to half of the Moscow region, there are more than 20,000 Hindu shrines, from tiny altars to grand temple complexes that have stood for centuries. But have you ever wondered why Bali has become such a popular destination, overshadowing the other 16,999 islands of the archipelago? The answer lies in a remarkable phenomenon. Despite Indonesia being predominantly a Muslim country, Bali has preserved its unique Hindu culture, creating a special microcosm where ancient rituals and ceremonies continue to thrive in the modern world. Every day on the island, hundreds of colorful ceremonies take place, and the scents of incense blend with the salty sea air, creating an atmosphere unlike any other on Earth. Many travelers who have visited dozens of countries speak of the inexplicable energy of this place. Bali is not just an island, it is a state of soul, as those who have once felt its magic assert. For most Russians and residents of the post-Soviet space, the word Indonesia automatically evokes images of Bali, even though this island comprises less than 1/100th of the country's territory. Paradoxical but true. Millions of people who have been to Bali can confidently say they have been to Indonesia, while having no real understanding of the true scale and diversity of this remarkable nation. What other treasures do the other islands of this enigmatic country hold? What secrets do its ancient forests and deep waters conceal? This question remains open for the few adventurous souls willing to venture beyond the typical tourist routes. Fact 3. The Ring of Fire, where gods dance and the earth trembles. However, it is not only cultural and religious phenomena that make Indonesia a unique place on the map of the world. This country literally stands on a fiery foundation, as it is home to more than 150 active volcanoes. This accounts for 17% of all active volcanoes on the planet, concentrated within a single nation. Sinister, smoking cones rise above emerald jungles and rice fields, reminding us of the unpredictable power of nature hidden beneath the thin crust of the earth. Scientists refer to this region as part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, but for the locals, each volcano is not merely a geological phenomenon. It is the abode of ancient gods who demand respect and reverence. Did you know that the most destructive volcanic eruption in modern human history occurred in Indonesia? In 1815, Mount Tambora on the island of Sumbawa erupted with such force that its roar was heard over 2,000 kilometers away, and the ash ejected into the atmosphere led to a global cooling event known as the Year Without a Summer. Thousands of people perished instantly, and the ensuing famine claimed even more lives around the world, from America to Europe and Asia. Remarkably, Indonesians have developed a unique attitude towards this constant threat. Instead of fear, they have learned to coexist harmoniously with the volcanoes, viewing them as a source of fertility and wealth. Volcanic ash makes the soil incredibly fertile, allowing for 3 to 4 rice harvests a year in places where other countries barely manage one. Ancient temples were often built on the slopes of volcanoes to be closer to celestial forces, and many rituals include offerings to the fire-breathing mountains. Some researchers argue that living under the constant threat of eruption has shaped a distinctive mentality among Indonesians, a philosophical acceptance of fate, and an extraordinary ability to smile even in the most challenging circumstances. But can we fully understand a people for whom trembling earth and rivers of fiery lava have become part of everyday life? This question remains unanswered, just as the mystery persists. Why do people continue to build their homes on the slopes of active volcanoes, knowing the deadly danger that could awaken at any moment? Fact 4. The land of soft Islam, where ancient gods coexist with Allah. Yet the most astonishing enigma of Indonesia lies not in its volcanoes or jungles, but in the remarkable religious phenomenon that has emerged on these islands. A country with a population of over 230 million is the largest Muslim state in the world, where nearly 90% of its inhabitants practice Islam. However, Indonesian Islam resembles a rare, precious stone, whose facets reflect not only the light of the Quran, but also the glimmer of ancient pagan beliefs. Here, amidst lush tropical forests and smoking volcanoes, a unique blend of religious practices was born, which anthropologists refer to as syncretic Islam. Unlike the strict traditions of the Middle East, Indonesian Islam has absorbed elements of Hinduism, Buddhism, and animistic cults, creating something entirely special and mysterious. In the shadows of mosques, rituals honoring ancestral spirits are still conducted, and before the onset of Ramadan, one can witness purification ceremonies at sacred springs, the roots of which reach back to pre-Islamic times. How could the world's most stringent monotheistic religion intertwine so organically with local cults and beliefs? Some historians assert that the key to this enigma lies with the Sufi missionaries who brought Islam to the archipelago in the 13th century. They did not destroy local temples or prohibit ancient rites, but gradually infused them with new meaning. Other researchers attribute the phenomenon to the unique worldview of the islanders, for whom the boundaries between worlds have always been permeable, and the plurality of truths has been perceived as a natural state of being. Remarkably, in modern Indonesia, Muslim imams can participate in traditional Javanese rain-calling ceremonies, and inscriptions from the Quran coexist with ancient symbols of fertility on the walls of village houses. This astonishing religious synthesis has created a society where moderation and tolerance are valued above dogmatic purity, and a smile is considered the best expression of faith. But will this fragile balance endure in the age of globalization and the spread of more stringent forms of Islam? This question concerns both researchers and the Indonesians themselves, who are aware of the uniqueness of their spiritual heritage, standing at the crossroads of ancient traditions and contemporary challenges. Fact 5. The melody of the languages of Indonesia. In this country, where over 700 languages and dialects resonate like a symphony of diversity, we encounter a remarkable linguistic phenomenon. The official language is Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia, artificially created to unite the fragmented peoples of the archipelago. This language, which has become a symbol of unity, was developed in the early 20th century, yet its artificial origins do not diminish the depth and richness it has absorbed from numerous local dialects. How could it be that in a land with such unique cultural and linguistic traditions, many languages of small communities are under threat of extinction? Each island boasts its own language, often lacking a written form and passed down orally from generation to generation. This creates not only beauty, but also tragedy. In the face of globalization and the dominance of a single language, such melodies may fade away forever. On the island of Java, for instance, where nearly half of the country's population resides, one can hear Javanese and Sundanese, each filled with its own unique expressions and intonations. On more remote islands, such as New Guinea, locals speak languages that differ even at the level of simple words and phrases. But how can we preserve this unique linguistic palette in an environment where young people increasingly choose to study Indonesian at the expense of their native tongues? Some linguists and cultural activists are striving to rekindle interest in local languages through educational programs and cultural events. However, the question remains open. Is it possible to maintain linguistic diversity in a world dominated by global culture? What are the chances that we will hear songs and stories that have been forgotten, yet still live in the hearts of small peoples? Perhaps it is in these linguistic melodies that the answers to many mysteries yet to be unraveled are hidden. Fact 6. Are Komodo dragons relics of ancient times? On remote Indonesian islands such as Komodo and Rinca, mysterious creatures that inspire both awe and fear inhabit the landscape. The Komodo dragons. These giant lizards, reaching lengths of 3 meters and weighing over 70 kilograms, resemble the true dragons of ancient legends. However, their majestic appearance conceals not only beauty, but also danger. The bite of these reptiles is lethal, thanks to special bacteria in their saliva that can kill even a buffalo. How have these incredible beings managed to survive for millions of years, preserving their unique traits and way of life? Komodo dragons are relics from prehistoric times, and their existence underscores the mystery of the evolutionary processes that have occurred on our planet. Scientists suggest that these lizards descended from ancient species that roamed the Earth when dinosaurs still walked its surface. But how could such remarkable evolution take place on small islands, isolated from the rest of the world? These predators, possessing incredible strength and agility, remain a true enigma to us. Some researchers believe that their behavior and social structure may reveal secrets held within their genes, yet many questions remain. How have they adapted to such specific conditions, And what other secrets do these ancient inhabitants conceal? With each passing year, their numbers decline, raising even greater concerns. What will happen if Komodo dragons disappear? Perhaps the keys to unraveling many mysteries of the past lie within their existence. But only time will tell how capable we are of preserving this unique heritage. What are the chances that we will manage to uncover all their mysteries before they vanish forever? Fact 7. Indonesia, a treasure trove of biodiversity. Within the vast expanse of Indonesia, which stretches across more than 17,000 islands, lies an astonishing wealth of nature that captivates and inspires. This country holds a prestigious place among the 17 mega-diverse countries of the world, and for good reason. It is home to a full 10% of all known species of flowering plants, 12% of mammals, 16% of reptiles and amphibians, and 17% of all birds on the planet. But what makes this ecosystem so unique and enigmatic? Unique animals, such as the Sumatra and Borneo orangutans, Javan rhinos, and the dwarf buffalo known as the anoa, are not just representatives of the fauna, but symbols of the evolutionary processes that occur only here. These remarkable creatures, endowed with their own distinct traits and adaptations, inhabit tropical forests that are, in themselves, a true wonder of nature. How have they managed to evolve in such conditions, and what else might be hidden in the impenetrable jungles and towering mountains? The existence of such rare species prompts us to ponder just how much we still do not know about our world. Each new discovery, be it an astonishing species or a mysterious artifact, underscores the fragility of this ecosystem. The disappearance of one species can trigger a chain reaction that affects all of nature. But what are the chances that we can preserve this incredible diversity when the threat of climate change and human activity becomes ever more pressing? And perhaps the mysteries of Indonesia continue to beckon us, promising new discoveries and enigmas. Fact: one of them, this dish, and of course, rendang, a meat dish cooked in coconut milk with aromatic herbs and spices, which requires considerable time and patience to achieve the perfect flavor. Indonesia is home to some of the world's most expensive spices, including nutmeg and cloves, which have attracted traders and explorers for centuries. But what makes Indonesian cuisine so special? Perhaps it is the magic found in the combination of local ingredients and age-old traditions passed down through generations. Every bite of food immerses us in the uncharted depths of culture, and each spice carries a story waiting to be told. How are these aromas and flavors connected to the ancient mysteries hidden within the depths of Indonesia's forests and its endless islands? Indonesian cuisine not only delights our palate, but also opens the doors to a world of enigmas that remain unsolved. How much more can we learn about the culinary traditions that are not only rich in diversity, but also steeped in the mysteries that have lingered in the shadows of history? Fact 9. Balinese Hinduism, a unique religion of gods and spirits. Balinese Hinduism is a remarkable blend of ancient beliefs, local traditions, and influences from Indian culture, creating an original religion that is markedly different from its Indian counterpart. On this wondrous island, surrounded by azure waters, believers make daily offerings expressing their devotion to gods, spirits, and even demons. Each day begins with a thoughtful ritual, the preparation of offerings. Small baskets filled with flowers, fruits, and sweets are carefully placed in temples and throughout the home. These offerings are not merely a ritual, they are a means of establishing harmony with the surrounding world, symbolizing the deep connection of the Balinese with spirituality and nature. Temples in Bali are not just places of worship. They are magnificent architectural ensembles, immersed in the greenery of tropical forests, featuring exquisite carvings and vibrant ritual fabrics that create an atmosphere of mystique and sanctity. Each temple is a small world where locals gather for ceremonies, immersing themselves in rituals filled with music, dance, and colors. The Balinese spend a significant portion of their time and income on religious rituals, understanding that their well-being and happiness depend on the favor of higher powers. Their homes, built like small temple complexes, reflect this religious devotion. Every corner, every detail is meticulously designed to create an atmosphere of comfort and sanctity. How does this unique religion influence the everyday lives of the Balinese? Perhaps therein lies the key to their tranquility and harmony, which is so appealing to tourists from around the globe. Yet, should we forget that behind this beauty lie ancient mysteries still waiting to be unveiled? How much more do we not know about the role of Balinese Hinduism in shaping the culture and customs of this enigmatic island? Fact 10. The mysterious tradition of Mananan, reuniting with ancestors. On the island of Sulawesi, amid majestic mountains and lush valleys, lives the Toraja tribe, which preserves one of the most unusual traditions in the world, Mananan. Every few years, when the time comes, the Toraja exhume the bodies of their deceased relatives from their graves to dress them in new clothes and conduct a special ceremony. This is not merely a ritual. It is a whole story, rich in symbolism and profound respect for the departed. In the eyes of the Toraja, death is not an end, but a lengthy process that requires time and attention. The deceased remain part of life for them, maintaining a connection with the living. The preparation for Mananan begins long before the ceremony itself. Relatives clean and prepare the bodies, select beautiful fabrics for the new outfits, creating an atmosphere of solemnity. When the day arrives, the village fills with joyful chatter as people gather to walk with their ancestors through the streets. This procession symbolizes the celebration of life, a reminder that even in death, there is room for love and respect. How does this tradition strengthen the bonds between generations? Perhaps therein lies the secret of the Toraja's longevity and strong family ties. Yet, despite the beauty and depth of this practice, many questions remain. What drives people to take such a step? How do the local residents perceive this? And how do people from other cultures view such rituals? This tradition is just one of many mysteries that surround our world, and we can only speculate how many more secrets lie hidden in other corners of the planet, waiting for their moment to be revealed. 11th fact. Tattoos as soul protection. The Mentawai tribe. In the heart of Indonesia, on the picturesque islands off the coast of Sumatra, resides the Mentawai tribe, renowned for its stunning tattoos and unique rituals. Here, both men and women adorn their bodies with intricate patterns that tell the stories of their ancestors, symbolize achievements, and serve as protection from evil spirits. For the Mentawai, these tattoos are not merely decorations, they are a spiritual act that helps preserve the soul within the body. Each line and symbol carries its own meaning, and the process of tattooing is conducted with the utmost respect for tradition and culture. The feeling that every tattoo is a connection to the spirit world renders this process sacred. The tribe also practices sharpening their teeth into sharp cones, which is part of their unique identity. This practice, like the tattoos, requires courage and endurance, symbolizing the transition into adulthood. However, despite the pressures of the modern world and the influence of globalization, the Mentawai steadfastly maintain their traditions. How do they manage to remain true to their customs in an era when many cultures are fading away? Perhaps it is their profound respect for nature and their ancestors, which form the foundation of their identity. Yet, the question remains, how long can the Mentawai resist modern trends, and what will happen to their unique culture in the future? This puzzle, like many others, continues to intrigue the minds of researchers and history enthusiasts around the globe. And as we delve into the mysteries of the Mentawai tribe, it is important to remember that similar stories exist in other corners of the planet, waiting for their moment to be unveiled. Fact 12. The enigma of the mummy cult in the mountain regions of Papua. In the majestic mountains of western New Guinea, amidst misty peaks and green valleys, live the Korowai and Dani tribes, who preserve unique traditions associated with the mummification of their leaders. This ancient ritual, shrouded in mystery, is not merely a method of preserving the body. It is an entire cult in which mummies are regarded as living members of the community. The process of mummification here is intricate and sacred. Initially, the bodies of the leaders are treated with smoke made from special herbs and oils, which are believed to possess magical powers capable of preserving both the soul and the physical form. The mummies are then placed in special huts or repositories, where they are carefully guarded. For to the tribe, these mummies are not just remains, but carriers of wisdom and strength, consulted in times of difficulty. How is it that the dead remain a part of the community's life, and their counsel is taken seriously? Perhaps it is tied to the deep beliefs of the Korowai and Dani regarding the existence of a connection between the realm of the living and the world of the dead. Important decisions, from choosing hunting grounds to matters concerning war, are often discussed with the mummies who, according to the tribe's beliefs, are capable of hearing and understanding their descendants. But that is not all. Some researchers argue that such practices may serve not only to preserve the memory of leaders, but also to strengthen the social structure of the tribe. However, how long can these ancient customs endure in the face of the modern world? And what other secrets lie within the depths of these mountains, waiting for their moment to be uncovered? This enigma remains unsolved, much like many other mysteries that surround our history and culture, and perhaps somewhere else, in the uncharted corners of our planet, similar rituals continue to exist, awaiting their discovery. Fact 13. The enigma of cannibalism and headhunting in the tribes of Papua. In the shadow of majestic mountains, amidst dense jungles and raging rivers, live tribes whose traditions and customs sometimes seem too distant from the modern world. One such enigma is the practice of cannibalism, which, as some researchers assert, persisted among isolated groups of the Asmat and other ethnicities until the mid-20th century. These tribes believed that by consuming parts of an enemy's body or preserving their head, they could acquire their strength and wisdom. In their culture, killing a rival was perceived not merely as an act of violence, but as a means of gaining new power, which undoubtedly imbued their actions with a special significance. However, like many other ancient customs, the practices of cannibalism and headhunting were officially prohibited. Nonetheless, in remote areas, hidden from the eyes of civilization, there remains a possibility that such rituals may still exist in altered forms, evading strict control. How is it that these ancient traditions, despite the pressures of the outside world, continue to live on in the collective memory of the people? Perhaps it is linked to the deep connection between culture and tribal identity, where each ritual serves not only as a means of survival, but also as a way to preserve their roots and uniqueness in a rapidly changing world. But how long can these secrets remain in the shadows? What other mysteries lie hidden in the depths of the jungle, waiting for their moment to be unveiled? This enigma remains unsolved, highlighting that in our understanding of history and culture, there are still many dark corners filled with mysteries and uncharted paths awaiting exploration. Fact 14. The Bloody Coup. The secrets of mass killings in Indonesia. In the mid-20th century, Indonesia became the scene of one of the most brutal and bloody coups in history, leaving an indelible mark on the consciousness of its people. In 1960, following a failed communist coup attempt, a wave of violence erupted, claiming the lives of between 500,000 and 3 million individuals. Countless people fell victim to merciless repression, and this tragedy continues to evoke shock and horror. The killers, many of whom were ordinary citizens, became executioners, carrying out retributions against those they deemed communists and their supporters. How could such cruelty occur in a country with a rich culture and centuries-old history? The documentary film, The Act of Killing, reveals the horrifying details of these events, showing how locals, armed only with hatred and a thirst for vengeance, became participants in mass executions. But the most disturbing aspect is that many of these executioners are still alive, and despite their crimes, have never been held accountable. What is the nature of historical memory when criminals remain unpunished and victims are forgotten? It seems that this situation highlights the darkness lurking beneath the facade of peaceful life in Indonesia. How did it come to be that such events were not only possible, but also accepted by society? Perhaps this is tied to the government's ability to exploit the fear of communism to create an atmosphere of impunity, in which human life lost all value. But how long can such silence persist? What other grim secrets does this country hide? And how many more untold stories await their moment to be shared? This mystery remains unsolved, leaving us with questions about the nature of evil and its consequences for future generations. Fact 15. The Boat People. The mystery of the Bajo Sea nomads. Across the vast expanse of Southeast Asia, there exist unique peoples living in harmony with the sea, among whom the Bajo stand out. Sea nomads, who have spent centuries drifting upon the waves, rarely setting foot on land. This enigmatic culture captivates with its way of life and remarkable physiological adaptations, making them truly extraordinary inhabitants of our world. The Bajo live on their boats, transforming them into genuine floating villages, and navigate between islands as effortlessly as fish in water. Their children learn to swim even before they can walk, becoming proficient free divers from a young age. They can dive to depths of up to 30 meters without any equipment, holding their breath for as long as 5 minutes. But what lies behind these astonishing abilities? How has life at sea altered their physiology and psychology? Interestingly, many Bajo suffer from what is known as land sickness. When on solid ground, they experience dizziness and nausea, as if their bodies are permanently tethered to the water. These facts raise numerous questions. What are the roots of their unique way of life? What secrets lie beneath the surface of the sea where they spend their days? Modern society finds it hard to imagine living without solid ground beneath one's feet. But for the Bajo, this is a reality filled with mysteries and adventures. Their culture, passed down through generations, holds a wealth of legends and myths about sea spirits and protectors. Yet, despite all these treasures, how long will they be able to preserve their identity in a rapidly changing world? And how many more secrets does the ocean hold about the sea nomads, waiting for their moment to be revealed? This mystery remains unsolved, leaving us with questions about what wonders and terrible trials may await just beyond the horizon. Indonesia is not just a tropical paradise with Bali's white sandy beaches and exotic fruits. It is a mysterious world filled with millennia-old traditions and cultures that are not widely known. Behind the vibrant colors of tourist advertisements lie deep roots that stretch back into ancient history. How could such a diverse array of languages, customs, and beliefs arise on this archipelago of more than 17,000 islands? Every corner of Indonesia holds its secrets, from ancient rituals to unique artistic traditions that are passed down through generations. It is remarkable that even Indonesians living in the same region often struggle to understand the customs and culture of neighboring islands. This highlights just how complex and multifaceted this society is. For a mature audience with rich life experience, there is a unique opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of this centuries-old wisdom and diversity. While the younger generation, accustomed to the rapidity of superficial perception, may overlook many nuances, more seasoned viewers can appreciate how deeply rooted ancient traditions and practices are still preserved in the modern world. Perhaps it is you, our dear viewers, who can share your impressions of Indonesia if you have been there. What fact about it surprised you the most? What else would you like to learn about this fascinating country? The questions remain open, and perhaps behind the next waves lie even more thrilling stories and mysteries waiting to be uncovered.